Right, here we go again. Frankie Parsons here, reporting for duty, bringing you the very best recommendations in PC games for the single player, the show where I give you a top 20 of a given genre. Today's genre is the action platformer of the roguelike variety. Let's open those gorgeous looking velvety curtains at the 48 genres which we're doing on this wonderful journey of ours. We're going to take one more look at the auto chess battler because I'm going to do away with that genre altogether. It's only Hearthstone Battlegrounds, Tavern of the Gods and Dota Underlords which I've played, so what I've done is I've put those in the mixed bag section. I did have a little dabble at Hadean Tactics, a little dabble at Gladiator Guild Manager, didn't quite get on with them, actually refunded Hadean Tactics, and now unfortunately we're going to say goodbye to this genre as a result. So let's go back to the 48 genres and sink into the depths the auto chess battlers. There they go. And what we're going to do, of course, is replace that with a new genre, and the new genre I've decided is the first-person puzzle adventure. Now that icon is supposed to be two eyeballs with two jigsaw puzzle pieces reflected in the said eyeballs, but may look more like the cogs in a audio cassette tape. Nevertheless, I might change that icon at a future date, but now we're looking at the action platformers. They come in three flavours: the Metroidvania, where you're exploring vast areas, not able to get to certain areas and then becoming stronger or getting the ability that unlocks that areas and then going back. A lot of exploration. There's the run and gun where you're jumping around a lot, completing missions, etc. Today, of course, though, we're looking at the action platformer roguelike, well, a game where you, when you die, you start the game all over again, either buying upgrades, becoming a little bit stronger, getting new abilities, etc., and then gradually unlocking the game in that way. Let's take a look at the top 20. Now we're going to place those medals in the usual fashion, and of course we'll be filling in these squares as we go. Let's do the honourable mentions first. They bounce in usually here. Now Kelly Pot looks intriguing, as does Neon Abyss. Not purchased those games yet, but they're there waiting in the wings. Similarly with Spelunky 2, I do have the prequel to that one. Find it very challenging. I've got nowhere near mastering it, so I don't know whether I'll actually be buying Spelunky 2. Goner is another one, a little bit too podgy, a little bit too splodgy for me, but well liked by a lot of people, but not by this here reviewer. Let's bring in bronze. Okay, first off, two critically acclaimed games, Noita and Risk of Rain, very well liked by the reviewers, but again, games which I really need a little bit more time on, really, so I've kind of left them on bronze for now. It may go up in a later date. Cryptarch is a kind of a, not quite an action platformer, because you have a spaceship in outer space which sort of floats around, so you might argue that's not an action platformer, but it's an okay game. Rogue Stormers takes a lot of grind. You do, you know, these levels and you get upgrades and things like that, but it's a very slow process, so that's Rogue Stormers, but the graphics and everything and the gameplay is pretty good on that one. Silver, a lot of basic games. These are really very casual games. Downwell, of course, you go downward. Very good in Tate mode, spelled T-A-T-E, where you rotate your screen and play it vertically. That's excellent. A very crunchy game. Metal Slug X, again, you might argue not a roguelike, but it's very arcadey, and the whole series of that is really good. Super Mutant Alien Assault is a Super Crate Box clone, where you're shooting aliens in one set screen, and similarly to Downwell, this Super House of Dead Ninjas is a game where you go downwards, again destroying enemies with very interesting abilities, but again a very casual game. You'll play that for 2 or 3 sessions and then move on to something else. Let's look at gold. Okay, Fury Unleashed, a very underrated game that came out a few months back. That's really good. Rogue Legacy, of course, a classic, again very challenging. Collapse is a fairly new game, not a lot of people know about it. I've played it a little bit, so I found it actually quite enjoyable, so that's there in gold. And 20xdx, a lot of people know that one as being the kind of a spiritual successor to the Mega Man series, but it's very similar to that one, and that's good if you like Mega Man. So here's the 4. These are the games that, if you want to get into roguelikes, these are the 4 really that you should try. Dead Cells is a magnificent, sparkly, dazzling pixel art game, very fluid, very nice to play, almost Metroidvania in its kind of, you know, gameplay loop, but very well, very strongly recommended, I should say. Rogue Legacy, of course, is the sequel to the first one. It's shinier, it's more robust, it's nicer to look at, so that there gets a platinum. We've got Spelunky, if you like a challenge, get that one. Again, I'm quite not very good at it, but very interesting, the different ways of tackling each level. And Skull, which is like the new kid on the block, also pixel art, game. Again, very fluid, similar to Dead Cells. Not quite as good as Dead Cells, mind you, but that one is very well liked. That's it, folks. That's my action platformer roguelikes top 20. Please give me a comment in the comment section below if I've missed any of your favourites, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.